Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay, it is February 23rd. All is well, having fun. Got a couple of things to just kind of update and point at around the world. And all of that, I have rent due. And of course my electricity bill and my phone bill will also be due. However, I have shown my landlords that I have this nice big many-pounded crowbar. So, and if I don't have electricity and I don't have phone and I don't have my rent paid, obviously I can make very quick work of my equipment around here. So yeah, there is a possibility. I do have money in hand to cover it. So there is a very good possibility that they don't want to see me smash the camera in front of you knowing that it's worth about 100,000 pesos. So and that's just one of several lenses I have. The computer is worth a heck of a lot more, especially because I customized it myself. So yeah, I do kind of expect to survive, but we're a couple days away. So we'll deal with that one later and have some fun being able to say whether I'm alive or dead. Other news, Tesla, Elon Musk just released a whole bunch of his patents, and as the headline says, he stated that for life on Earth, for humanity or whatever, let's salute the man. He did a good job. He may not have anything to do with me, but let's just say he's up there in the elite rich. He's relatively young. He is relatively new at being an elite rich. The guy did good. He had designs for a space station, and I looked at the design, and I'm going to go back and really look through the entire video that's available of it a little bit better, and really listen in to see what all is going on. But the quick overall, I want to point out that there is the idea of having the rescue pods very, very close at hand. Which obviously, again, an intelligent move. It looks like he's using a small container that can easily be something that's packaged on his rocket ships that he's already got built and designed and they're working on and all of that. So it doesn't have to change anything in his pre-production. He just simply has to now put production of those cylinders. Those cylinders can one of two ways. It would be possible to do something into the sphere that I was talking about, where once you build the whole outside dome, you start working in. You could literally have a ring of those and then start building the outer shell, going up the different areas. He's got the landing center, the space station for the shuttles to come in at in the center. It goes onto a dolly system as it is. It would be very easy to just continue the rails up when you're making your sphere, both directions and all. But you build just the wire frame and then you sheet it over. And if he or we or somebody gets asteroid mining going out there, and with the increase of asteroids coming into the Earth's atmosphere, obviously it's going to get pretty easy to pluck those suckers out of outer space to use. You'd easily be able to do that. He can also take them and just simply continue the ring up and down and have a cylinder rather than that. And again, just build a rail system so that, whatever's the top level of rings, there's where your shuttlecraft comes in and attaches to a dolly, and the dolly moves it in, and you have areas on the inside there for freight, for supplies, for whatever. Okay, it's all there. So a very good, simple design and easy to build upon to make it more convenient and better. It's very easy when you're building in parts like that, okay, components. And components can be upgraded, new designs, new ideas. You know, you can have one as a workshop and one as a living quarters. You can have the first ones be partial workshop and partial, you know, living quarters. I mean, think of how many people live in their RVs. How many people live in old school buses since the 60s? You know, photographers, especially nature photographers, love to have their RVs and they got a little spot in the back. Ansel Adams drove around in a station wagon with all of his equipment, and he stopped, he had a wooden platform on top. So, you know, there's an awful lot of, shall we say, city folk that never get out of anywhere. They never go anywhere. So they don't see this. They don't realize that there's an awful lot of us lone wolves that are actually families. You know, they're little nomad herds and of a family that go around and do their own thing. You know, so, and they live within that vehicle. They live within the confines of what it produces for them. We could easily add, you know, internet into it and a few things like that. So, you know, you have to stop and realize that there are humans that are quite content at having a workshop in the back half of the bus and a living space in the front half of the bus. And that bus is no bigger and probably no smaller than what Elon can be sending up, so that it is very easy to build containable life quarters and working quarters and shipping that, literally shipping them up into space. Okay? So, you know, congratulations to Elon and his design team and all of that. They're definitely in the right direction. I mean, somebody on this planet has to start trying to, you know, find survival. You know, like I said, this is all going on, and, you know, what I'm talking about here is all free will. Okay? I can't hate Elon for the fact that he's going to try and make money out of what he's doing. I can, however, compliment him on the fact that he is doing something rather than sitting in his backyard having a party. Is kind of a lot. I had somebody, I sat there and was telling the person about how, you know, look at what I've done in life. And then try and tell me that I should be worrying about voting Democrat or Republican or something like that, when in 1970 I knew the whole thing was a farce, and from 1970 to 2016 I have never been wrong about guessing, and I don't publicize my guesses very often, but I did in 2015. I started talking about Trump and the police showed up. Every year, or every election season, I have known who the winning president's going to be anywhere from 6 months to 2 years beforehand, just by watching what's going on. Okay? I don't even have to use psychic ability. I just look at what's happening. I am that old in hand at advertising, media, newspapers, researching, and plain old thinking. Okay? So you have these two issues, like I said, and yes, we are starting to see this multiplying very quickly. Everywhere you look now, the mass media is keeping it out because they don't want to make anybody fearful. But you're going to have a bigger mass panic when you suddenly have, you know, various epidemics happening. And pandemic is going to happen because people are going to start running. And the United States citizens are just as liable to be that pandemic center as Africa, South America, Indonesia, China. Okay, I will grant you that having already had some of the deadlier stuff over in China, okay, H1N1 and H1N5 are two strains that have been around for a long time. One is extremely deadly and doesn't travel very easily, and the other one travels very easily and hasn't been deadly yet. Well, I shouldn't say hasn't been deadly, hasn't been extremely deadly. It still has a mortality. I think it was like the last time I was checking, it was like 20%. I don't even think it went as high as 30% overall. But the other one, and I believe that was the H1N5, had a 80 to 95% mortality, but it had a hard time traveling on its own from person to person. So we are seeing at this point in time all kinds of viruses and bacteria moving around and changing what it's doing, and things that didn't pass between humans and animals is now passing between humans and animals, and things that didn't pass between one species of animal and another species of animal is now happening as well. So we are seeing the actual physical signs. I think we're up to like 50 volcanoes exploding. So there is that very high concentration of SO2 now going on. We are seeing the oceans heating up, which in conspiracy theory, the expanding Earth, obviously all of the undersea volcanoes, all of the undersea vents are putting massive amounts of heat into those, deep cold trenches. In places where they're at, they're also adding SO2 to the ocean and acidifying it. You have the volcanoes and the geysers going off all over around the world and mud pots showing up. So you have more SO2 into the atmosphere, which is increasing the storms, increasing the power. I mean, the United States is dealing with 14 days, 16 days of almost a continuous storm. I mean, this is what they're on storm O, I think. Quite a ways into the alphabet again. Definitely cruising down the list. All kinds of flooding going on. States underwater. Highest snowfall anywhere. The runoffs, the amount of snow they just got in the Sierras. I mean, it's not that it is not possible to happen. I lived in the Sierras. I have seen snow over the top of my head and over the top of my cars and vans, and been shoveling off roads to keep them from crashing through. And without a doubt, it is more of them constantly coming through. So wetter it gets, the more viruses and bacteria, the more this chemical pollutions and all the various things that are going on there are mixing into the soup. So the more you have all of these mutation factors added to this breeding cycle. So remember, folks, you are literally running out of time. Okay? Not a conspiracy. Go research it for yourself. Occupy ISS, day 92. I'm still alive, and I hope for you.